You have spent decades showing up for everybody else. Isn't it time you finally showed up for you?
What if the real reason you're not getting what you want isn't time, money, or opportunity, but the fact that you are consistently not choosing yourself?
Yeah. In this episode, you're going to understand why you've been putting those dreams off or on hold and find ways to really reconnect with what you really want and start getting to it.
Yeah. Hey, I'm Sally, and I'm here with my big sister Dana. And, we're really good at doing things for other people. Like, it seems like we're wired that way. Like, it's our superpower. I think for me, especially, I know, like, with my family, my children, jobs, making dinner, going to the grocery store, taking care of people, making appointments. It can be anything my energy can go out to. And guess who doesn't sometimes or hasn't, getting better, gotten the attention in my own life?
Yeah, we will, as women, we are
Yeah.
so wired to just take care of all the needs, right?
Yeah.
And then, at the end of the day, we're out of gas. So we're
Yeah.
really just wired, conditioned to just keep going through the days instead of maybe taking a little time to pull back and look, right? Kind of
Yeah.
like get a like bird's eye view of our lives.
And once you get to be 50 plus, we talk about this amongst ourselves all the time that there is a sense of urgency that it's like when you're younger, you can say, well, I'll get to that. I'll get to that. I'll get to me. I'll get to what's
Oh
important. And
yeah.
it's like, now, no, now's the time. Like we got to get about doing what we really know is important and in our heart, our desire and what will make us, feel fully alive. So this is the time.
If for
Yeah.
me as a writer, if I didn't write a book, who was going to care? Now people care now that I've written books, but if you just say I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this or whatever, like mostly people would think, "Oh, but that's taking time away from me." So, come back
Right.
over here and do my bidding.
Yeah, people in your life, and as I can speak from experience, right? I mean, everybody in our lives would rather us not be selfish. Um, it's much better for them if we're not. But sometimes we don't do the things that we really want to do because it would be really hard. It'd be
Oh
hard to
god.
shift gears and change our life in a big way or even in a small way.
But
But
here's the deal.
yeah,
Here's the deal on that. If you are
yeah,
a woman over 50, you know how to do hard things.
yeah,
Like,
and
think
I brought
about all the hard things you have done in your life. Hard things. There's no way you have not done hard things. You know how to
yeah,
do it.
yeah,
You
and
just know how
and
to do it for everybody else.
exactly. I told you, I said, I realized that sometimes when I doubt myself, I think, well, can I do this? Thought back to some things that I did earlier in my life that I've just kind of like brushed off or discounted. And I was like, I have children that are 19 and 22. And I think about what I did for those first, baby, toddler, preschool years. It is the best time and it is the most relentless time.
Yeah.
Talk about hard. You don't get a day off. You don't get to decide what time you're going to wake up or if you feel like feeding somebody or you know what I'm saying? Like you don't get that choice. You don't get a break. And
Yeah.
I can look back and go, "You know what? If I can do that, I can do anything." But
Yeah.
sometimes we don't really go back and look at the hard things we've done and think, wow, I am really capable. If I'll just use that for my dream now, take that same energy, that same relentlessness, we could do anything.
Yeah, and same thing if you let's say you have a job that's really hard. I mean, I've been
Mm,
down that road. You have too. Where
yeah.
you're just like, "Oh my god, how can I do this?" And you do it. You do
Mhm.
it because for whatever reason in that time of your life, in that season, it may not even be a job you want to do at all, but you need to do it. And that's all fine. But now we're at a place, hopefully, where, yeah, money's important, all of those things are important, and you're important because of the time limitation. You're always important, but now it's kind of like, wait a minute, if not now, when? I've had lots of clients though who have so many excuses. And I mean, me too. I mean, I get it. Like as a writer, I think for me, it was really hard because writing didn't come easily to me. And so but I just wanted to so badly, but I just didn't think I was good enough. I didn't think I had what it took, that I wasn't a real writer. And that's a part of this too. When we're stepping into something new, we can put it off, procrastinate because we think, yeah, but those people really know what they're doing. I don't. How am I ever going to get there? Or am I actually talented enough? I really was a believer in natural talent. Now I'm a believer in doing something for 10,000 hours and you will get better. You will
Yeah,
get
yeah.
better. You will get good.
Like, it's interesting because I think that you're one of those people who, at least for a while now, several years, you've known exactly what you wanted to do and you've gone after it. I mean, there's been peaks and valleys and all of that. But then there are other people, and I may have fallen really more into that category of feeling for a long time like there was something like gnawing at me. Like, I know I have this thing that I want to do, but I couldn't quite figure it out.
Yeah.
So I know some of you are gonna fall into both those camps. Like, you know some of you know exactly what that dream is, and others of you want to really find out what that dream is, and that's important to give it that time. But anyway, either way you look at it, it is time for you to know that you deserve to give it your focus, to give it your time, to give it your attention, and the dream is not just going to happen without you, like, drawing that line in the sand and saying, "Now is the time."
And the
That
dream,
helps bring it to life.
it brings it to life. And
Yeah.
along the way, you're going to face obstacles. I mean, it just is. And I used to
Mhm.
think like, "Oh, this is too hard, so it must be wrong." How
Mhm.
about this is hard, so I need to really lean in
Mhm.
and fortify my why and maybe look at the parts of me that aren't in alignment, right? That don't believe this is going to work or don't think I'm enough or all that kinds of stuff. And that stuff we do at this channel, by the way, is
Right.
just to help you find out what are those limiting beliefs that might be keeping you from getting off the starting block, because
And
that's where
here's
it
the
starts to happen. Getting you
yeah,
gotta get off the starting block.
absolutely, and a lot of times those limiting beliefs are the ones that you do have to go in and you have to bring them to the surface in order to release them because they can't take you where you wanna go. So they
Yeah.
have to come up as part of the journey, and if you look at it that way, then you don't look at it like roadblock, you just look at it as a hump in the road that you have to get through as part of the journey, like you said. An
Yeah,
important part of the journey.
very
Yeah.
important. I know for
Mhm.
me, I would never have gotten published had I not worked through a lot of my inner stuff.
Yeah.
I just
And
know it. I know
yeah,
that was the change that was necessary that got me
yeah.
from frustrated and stuck to actually being a published author.
Yeah, but so often, we get to that point and it just does feel like a roadblock. It feels like, oh my gosh,
Oh,
it's just too scary. And so
oh,
that's why, what we talked about that we really want this to be the no BS zone. Like you could, we could all have our excuses, we could all have our fears, but we would have a place where it's like, okay, we're coming and it's like we're training for a marathon and we're gonna move through the hard times together because there are going to be
yes.
so many reasons why we might stop and we just can't. We don't have that luxury at this point.
No, we don't. You wanna be from here to here, A to Z. How do you get there?
Yeah.
And that's a journey worth taking. It is a journey that will, make your life so good, and you'll look back and go, "Thank you. Thank you for doing this." You'll look back on yourself and be so happy that you decided to be brave enough to show up even when it got hard, especially when it got hard.
And so, we want you to join us here because that's what we're really about is how do we look at this? How do we look at our life and our dream as a training program? Just like if you want to run a marathon, you know that you can't go out tomorrow and just run it if you haven't done the prep work to be able to do it. And so instead of getting frustrated and give up, what are the things that we need to do in order to get ourselves ready to run that marathon? So, where do we start, Dana?
Well, I would say, first of all, let's say you have a dream and you've been living it and you may be ready to talk yourself out of it, or you
Yeah.
may not be getting the support that you want. Like, you're still doing that.
Mhm.
But it's really, really important to you. How do you recommit? I mean, recommitting, like all in is where it's at. You can't even start unless you decide to be all in. Um, so recommitting to your dream takes some focus. Like,
Mhm.
maybe just some journaling to begin with. Like, why? Why did I do this to begin with? Why is it still important to me? What do I think about it? What are the roadblocks that have come up? Have I started thinking like other people, like hive mind stuff, like,
Yeah,
oh, you're too old, or this can't happen now, or if you don't get this by all that
right.
junk that comes up. Like, put it out on the page because that way at least you can look at it. And you can do some tapping with me because I'm going to do a tapping video after this too.
All right. Yeah, exactly. So I think what you were saying, you have to decide. You have to stop thinking about what other people want from you. You got to like make yourself, selfish because nobody else is going to do it for you. And, you have to be willing to go on the journey and not have to do it alone. Even though you're the only one that is going to make that decision for you. And I think it's so important that we have accountability, that we have support.
And you need support to do it. So when I have like my writing groups, I'll go or do it online where we meet, we talk for a minute, and then we go off and do our thing, but we come back and say what we did. There are lots of ways for you to do your thing in a group that is doing a similar thing and get support.
So don't just think you have to do it alone, but do decide that you're putting it first and that you're entering the no BS zone with us. So
Yeah.
to start with, we want to really say to all of you, like, take a minute and recommit to your dream. And if, like we said earlier, if you don't know exactly what that is, commit to coaxing the dream out and getting clear about it so
And you
that
may not know wait, you may not know
yeah,
what it is because I always say everybody
yeah,
has something that lights them up.
yeah,
We just often forget,
yeah.
or we're so talked out of it, or we're
Mhm.
just like, well, you can't do that now. Well, guess
Like,
what? Maybe you can do that now.
yeah,
Don't
like
listen to
maybe you
anybody.
They make you think, I can't go back to school. I can't go back and get my doctorate. I'm too old." No, you're not.
No,
Like,
you're not.
it's that simple thing of really allowing yourself to expand. If that's your dream, expand. How is that possible? And really connect also to the why. If you start feeling, oh, all the doubt, all the fear, connect to the why, because why do I want to do this? And that energy alone can help you get reinvigorated and more committed to think, okay, I know why I want to do this. Get clear and connected to that.
And
Yeah.
just like if you're recommitting to a dream, if you're
Yeah.
coaxing out a dream, journal. Journaling,
Yeah.
it is not overrated. It is really worthwhile because when you put actual pen to paper or pencil
Hmm.
to paper, something flows out. What do I want? What lights me up?
Hmm.
What excites me? What might be fun at this point in my life? I mean, it could be anything. Everybody's
Yeah.
is different, but
And
it's something that goes, ah, that,
yeah. And I've
that.
found the way we'd recommend is to journal with like a lightness and an openness and allowing things to come and not like that neediness of needing the answer. But I think when we are open and we journal and we ask questions, then it naturally flows out of us. So that is a great way to start getting answers if you're needing to get clearer about what you want to do.
And part of that is asking,
Hmm.
asking your higher power, asking God, asking, you know, go out in nature,
No,
ask the
yeah.
trees, right? What is this? What is this thing for me?
I have
You
my
know,
best ideas when I go outside and walk and just get with the trees and with nature and look at the sky. It just because I think we unplug from everything else, and so we naturally kind of open up to what is our inner voice when we're out in nature. And I have recently really made a strong commitment and have done it now for maybe about a month to getting up early and meditating. I've just been committing to just be quiet for 20 minutes every morning. And I do a lot of chatter, chatter, chatter in my mind, but I found that by the final maybe 5 minutes, it
you're
gets
like,
quiet.
yeah.
It just kind of everything gets calm inside. And at the end of the meditation, at that point, I'll open up and I'll ask some questions, and it just feels like I'm more in sync with myself, with God. And so I highly recommend it. It's new for me, but it's working. I really feel a difference, a shift in me from doing it.
Yeah, and you don't have to do
Yeah.
20 minutes. You can do 10
No.
minutes. If 20 minutes is too much, do
Yeah.
10 minutes. I'm
Absolutely.
big on the 10-minute meditate because I know I'll
Yeah.
do that. And I
Yeah.
think we all know
W
ourselves well enough to know what we actually will stick with.
Yeah.
And I know I won't stick with 20 minutes. Just show up.
Yeah,
No, we sometimes think, oh, I can't just show up for a minute or I can't just write for a few minutes. Or, yes, you can. Yes, you
yeah,
can. Because that is starting you. That is
yeah.
opening that space that will grow if you are consistent.
And just by saying that this is a time that I'm giving to my dream, that in itself, your dream goes, oh, oh,
Oh,
okay, you're giving me
she
some
wants
time.
me.
Yeah. And
She,
so your dream's like, okay, if you're going to give me some time, it kind of coaxes it out and makes it feel like, okay, let's see if you're really gonna, if you're gonna be true to your word. Are you gonna give me time? And the more you
yeah,
show up and do that, the more your dream believes you and will
it will
show
show
up for
up.
you. Yeah. I,
Absolutely. But,
yeah.
you're the one to give yourself permission.
Mm,
You're the one to show up. I
yeah.
mean, that's it. Like, you are the one. You have to decide this.
Yeah.
And
I was gonna
I d
say that you got to just what we were just saying is that it like you have to dedicate that time or there's not gonna be that space for your dream to show up. Like
yeah,
you gotta do that. You gotta say, here is that chunk of time or here's the time
yeah.
I'm gonna journal. And if you don't do that, your dream won't believe you that this is
Oh, it
important.
won't.
Yeah,
And even if you don't know what that do is yet, you know, like I said, just do a little journaling.
yeah,
Do something that lights you up. Even if it's not the thing that lights you up,
yeah.
go do something that you haven't done
That
in a long time. Go
yeah.
bowling. You know what? I want to go
Bo
bowling.
Go bowling. That's funny. We used to bowl a lot when we were kids, remember?
We did. We
That was
bowled. It
before
was
they
so
had those
much
little
fun.
gutter guards, and ours just went into, like, the gutter every time, remember?
Yes,
Man, kids have it good these days, don't they?
they do.
Hey, listen, so let's get back to, the tapping because you said that you were gonna have a tapping that would also really support
Yeah.
this idea. So
Uh,
explain a little bit about that.
well, tapping is when we tap on meridian points on our body, and I will
Okay.
lead you through them. I have a
Yeah.
video on the channel that says that's called Tapping Basics. If you want to just see what that is, I know it changed my life. I mean, no doubt changed my life because it's a shortcut to helping reframe beliefs, let go of hard feelings, process them. And also, today, I think I'm going to do this tap to be pretty affirmational about how great it is to connect with your dream, like how important it is, and just to have fun with that. Because when you're tapping, you're anchoring in some ideas, uh, so that they can blossom more easily.
I can't wait to follow along with that one, Dana.
Yay!
And for everyone, I think you'll get so much out of it. I know, like every morning when the way I start my meditation is I do a few rounds of tapping because it really
Yeah.
centers me and calms me before I start. So, on that note, we really appreciate you joining us. And please like or subscribe. We've enjoyed being with you today and look forward to next week.
Yeah, and come tap with me.